I'm joined by Ralph Peake, MHK, and of course in the Treasury, and it's all about pensions, which is coming up in Tynwald next week. I mean, a lot of people are now talking about this. In fact, Bill Shimmon's also been going public about his thoughts. And I really want to take this right back, because I think so many people haven't got a clue what's going on here, and I'm out of depth on this myself. Take us back. What is exactly happening on Tuesday? Why is it happening, and what's the consequences?
What's happening on Tuesday is the government are bringing forward some recommendations to try and get a hold of the legacy funding gap, and that's the gap between what's paid into the pensions and what the taxpayer pays in.
Now, is this the public pension? Is this the one, state pension? Which one are we talking about here?
It's not the state pension. The state pension is in the National Insurance Fund.
Yeah.
That's funded. We've now sorted that out. That's now sustainable. And we've just released £184 a week state pension, so that's funded.
So this is the civil service.
This is the civil service,
which has always been pushed down the road,
constantly. Been kicked down the road for a number of years, and it's a big issue. It's a big issue.
Money's running out, right?
Big figures. The funding gap at the moment is around about £35 million a year, and that's going to rise into £130 million by 2035. So
is there a plan on Tuesday?
Right.
Who brings that plan? Is it Treasury, right?
No. So Minister Thomas will be bringing forward some recommendations.
Right.
He's been working on that with the PSPA, and they're bringing forward some recommendations to try and introduce a voluntary defined contribution scheme to move away from the defined benefit scheme.
Voluntary always sounds worrying to me, because people don't want to do that normally. But
well, to be honest, I think it's a pension for the future. But what we would like to see is that it's a defined contribution scheme for new members, and so that protects the accrued rights of people in government now who have the pension. That protects those, and for new members coming in, they'll know exactly what they're getting. This is a reflection of the private sector that really stopped now defined contributions many years ago, and they now offer defined contribution. So you know exactly what you pay in. It's then the investment company then pays you a pension when you reach your
But you've got Amendment 2 already, and I think Bill Shimon as well. What's coming forward on Tuesday/Wednesday, whenever you get around to it? What you've got your own ideas? What are different, are they?
Well, the series of workshops that members have had with the PSPA put forward or investigated a number of options. But this report's come back and actually gone through those options and actually said that they don't offer much material value in the short term. Well, to be honest, that's not the point. This is a pension. This is a long-term solution we need to find. And one of the things I put down is to actually bring the normal retirement age aligned with the state pension age. So as a state
for men and women.
That's right. So that's now 66, and that'll be raised to 67.
Yeah.
So if we make those the same, then it's simpler for people to understand. It'll help the scheme, and it'll be fairer for everybody. Because don't forget, a quarter of the workforce, if you like, are in the public sector pension scheme, but 3/4 aren't. So as an MHK, you're looking out for the taxpayer's point of view to make sure that there's good value being received, and we believe one way of doing this to be fair for everybody is to be very clear and have a defined contribution scheme moving forward.
People in the system who are waiting for that, and I'm one of them actually, I've got somebody coming for one, are they protected? I mean, will they have to, any changes or twinkling with potential payouts?
All the accrued rights that have been enjoyed are fixed in. No one's looking to change any of those. So it's only about moving forward, really. So if we can then have the debate around that, and maybe this is just one of the options that the...
Do you think they're going to make this decision there? I mean, come on, this is another big decision. I seem to be a lack of decision making going on almost. That's just my take on it, on certain aspects of things that have come forward recently. This is a huge one.
It is very big, yeah.
Has it got the support there?
That's what you actually need now. It's actually have the members to take that bold move and actually make the decision.
Do you think they will?
I think it's there. Yes, I do.
You really
if
think
they
so?
stand back and actually look at this in a calm and clear way, it's the only decision you should be is yes, because that actually extinguishes the funding gap in the future. It's the only way to do it. Otherwise, we're wedded to actually ever-increasing funding gap, which I believe is not fair for the taxpayer of the Isle of Man.
And come this big debate, you think wheels will be put in motion and things will move on, or do you think it'll be shoved to another committee, come back and report later in the year?
It's there for us to actually say yes and to actually give a clear, strong vision that this is what we actually want. That would be a great policy that would really could, this House could look back and say, we tackled the biggest decision that other people didn't do, other houses didn't do.
I almost have to repeat myself, our positivity there is fantastic.
It is.
Are the big decisions being made?
We've got every opportunity to do that right now. I think this is the biggest one that people have been waiting for. The public sector pensions have been the biggest issue on the door at the last general election, and this now is an opportunity.
So many people had it in their manifesto.
Correct.
And
absolutely
yet
right.
we're 3 years into, past the halfway stage.
We
anyway.
are, at the halfway stage.
Does that not worry you?
It doesn't worry me, because it's quite clear that this is the clearest and fairest and most logical decision to have.
And your amendments definitely, you want that?
It's definitely, well, again, it's open to that debate to actually be fair and to make it very clear and easy to understand.
And the mood music, have you gone out and canvassed?
I've just
people?
had a conversation today with a member and actually helped them understand why that this is the fairest way to do it. And when you think about it, we want a strong vision. It's not going to be easy. None of this is easy. Right. Big numbers. But if you've got a strong vision, you can actually work towards it. That's leadership, and that's what we really want.
If nothing happens, just take me. I don't understand this.
Yep.
Take me through what happens with this deficit that keeps getting bigger and bigger, right? The pot, more people retiring on this thing, the pot's going to empty, whatever, so you've already predicted, know where that is. Is that the crunch scenario, like nothing gets done and it just runs out?
If you actually stand back and do nothing or do very little, then that's what happens, because you're a passenger then. The thing is to actually stand in, get a clear message, clear vision, and work towards that. That's when you then release yourself from this mindset of actually just walking in to an abyss. So take leadership, clear vision, work towards it. The solutions will then come. We have to release ourselves from this mindset of being locked into ever-increasing government, more and more people to fund an ever-increasing funding gap. If you actually step back and think about that, that's madness. That's not right at all.
And the future generations, will they have anything to
future
retire
generations,
on?
That's the point. If you actually close it now, future generations will know exactly what they're going to get when they join government. No, a defined contribution will actually determine what you're paying in.
The more you put in, the more you get out.
The more you get out. Yes, whereas at the moment we're actually running a scheme that is defined benefit, and so your benefits are guaranteed, but then the cost, unfortunately, ships on to the taxpayer, and that's what I feel is really unfair. It's a 1950s model in the 21st century, and that doesn't work. People want to be more flexible, they want to have a pension. If they move on, they're not necessarily now working in government all their lives, they perhaps want to come, work in government, get some experience, and move away. With a defined contribution pension, you can move that away because it's external of government.